Nobody goes about their day planning to get into a street fight. Well, maybe some people do. But with the way streets can be unsafe, it is better to be prepared for a street fight, even though you might not go looking for one. Most times when faced with a fight on the streets, the best thing is to just walk away. But let's be honest, there are some situations in which walking away won't be easy. You may need to defend yourself or others around you. This is why you need an effective martial arts skill that will help you defend yourself adequately. There are a good number of self-defense martial arts that you can use in a street fight, but many of them are simply too rigid or too restrictive. So in this video, we will be looking at one question that many people in the martial arts world seem to be asking. Is Wing Chun useful in a street fight? If you want to find out, then sit back, relax, and stick around till the end of the video. Before we head into how useful this martial art is in a street fight, let's take a look back in time and see how it started. Not everyone knows this, but Wing Chun is one of the most contemporary styles of Kung Fu. And it has been over 300 years since it was developed, but it has evolved into what it is today. The martial art was created by a Buddhist nun named Ningmui in the late Jing Dynasty. She designed this style of Kung Fu in a way that won't rely on your sheer strength, but on your balance. And unlike other forms of martial arts that depended on imitation and copying moves to land a strike and defend yourself, Wing Chun required you to learn how to stay calm, balance yourself out, and efficiently generate force. Interestingly, the famous martial arts master Yip Man is the grandfather of Wing Chun. He was known to bring the art back to life again in 1948. As added proof to show how effective this martial art is, Yip Man taught the famous Bruce Lee Wing Chun, and Lee used it as the basis for his own martial art, Jeet Kune Do. With a little bit of history under our belt, let us look at the concepts, styles, and techniques of this art to see what makes it so effective. Wing Chun is a close quarters combat system that focuses on using various techniques to gain an advantage over an opponent. It is a hybrid martial art that effectively combines both Kung Fu and boxing. Kung Fu techniques can be used to overpower an opponent with quick and powerful strikes, while boxing techniques can be used to deliver powerful counterattacks and to defend against an opponent's strikes. The art of Wing Chun also uses blocks and grappling techniques, including a variety of Chinese weapons, such as the long pole and butterfly knives, to overpower the opponent. Wing Chun is a close combat martial art that uses both offense and defense simultaneously. Its techniques are not fancy or showy like other types of Kung Fu. Rather, it is direct, purposeful, and to the point. It is a self-defense system and not a combat sport, which is why its concepts are easy to grasp and apply. However, it does not have the usual techniques that other martial arts have. One concept or technique taught by Wing Chun is the center line theory. This technique represents your area of defense and offense, and it teaches you how to keep balance. Wing Chun is also all about the redirection and fluidity of the strikes. It teaches the core concept of the conservation of energy. Wing Chun teaches practitioners not to overexert themselves during a fight to save energy. Instead, it teaches them to use the opponent's energy against them by redirecting their blows. This martial art has a technique that teaches you to polish your reflexes, because reflex is the only key to surviving during a street fight. On the street, there are no rules. It is pure survival. So if your reflex is weak, you won't be able to defend yourself. Another technique that Wing Chun teaches you is to fight according to your rival. Whether your opponent is a professional fighter or a novice, Wing Chun fighters are taught to adapt themselves to the fighting style of the opponent. Wing Chun's main technique is all about taking the defensive and waiting for the right moment to go offensive. This is why a balanced stance is at the core of all Wing Chun techniques. When you're in a balanced stance, the opponent won't be able to tell your next move. The stance requires a 50-50 weight distribution at all times, which allows you to move either foot in any direction at any time. A balanced stance also gives maximum mobility, and this is essential for dealing with armed or multiple attackers. And as Wing Chun fighters try to maintain balance, they attack their opponent. The art of Wing Chun was designed for weak and older people where they lack core strength. As such, Wing Chun is not about displaying fancy skills, but it is designed to critically immobilize your enemy by hitting them in soft tissues. This art targets soft areas of the body such as the eyes, the throat, a hit on the cheeks, and the groin. It is a disabling martial art that can incapacitate an opponent in a matter of seconds. Another technique taught in Wing Chun is learning to fight with two hands against one hand. The idea of this technique is to keep yourself in an outside position so that you can use two of your hands against your attacker's one hand. In Wing Chun, you learn hand strikes, kicks, blocks, and traps, which are all effective in overpowering an opponent. So to the big question, is Wing Chun useful in a street fight? The straight answer is yes. Wing Chun was not only designed to be used by just anyone, but it can be used to fight off multiple attackers, even if they are considerably larger and stronger than you. And this is what you often will come across in a street fight. Usually, a street fight could come in different scenarios. It could be that an assailant is going to try to get up close and personal to deliver the most damage. Or in some cases, you might not even see the fight coming until a blow has landed on your cheek. In any scenario, you need to be focused on giving effective defense and high-speed responses. And Wing Chun offers the perfect collection of techniques to use in a street fight. Since Wing Chun was designed for close combat situations, it is useful in a street fight because that usually happens in close proximity. Every technique in Wing Chun is centered around being in close proximity to your attacker. Although Wing Chun teaches offensive moves, the real strength of the art is its defensive techniques. It has a hand and limb trapping technique that is particularly useful for those who want to protect themselves from larger attackers. Trapping is a highly effective self-defense mechanism. In a street fight, the attacker is usually in close proximity, which makes it perfect to trap them. The trapping technique is used to stop an attacker from defending against an attack and includes quick smacks, pulls, and jerks with striking at the same time. Wing Chun encourages several deflecting techniques that do more than just blocking an incoming punch. If you are able to deflect attacks properly, it will not only stop you from sustaining an injury, but it will also drain your attacker's energy. Another technique in Wing Chun that is useful in a street fight is known as Chi Sao, or sticky arms. This technique improves combat skills for close-range situations. Sticky arms allows you to simply respond to the movement of your attacker, rather than using any advanced strategy. With this technique, you can easily anticipate your attacker's next move and respond accordingly. Wing Chun's close combat styles and intuitive physical responses make it incredibly effective and useful in a street fight. It has a system that helps you develop instinctive fighting abilities that do not rely on predictable patterns. And this is useful because street fights and real-world attacks are nothing like a sparring match or a toe-to-toe standoff. In a street fight, you may not just have to defend yourself, but also attack or offend. And Wing Chun teaches both positions simultaneously. When you are blocking, you are also striking, and this could destabilize your attacker. In a street fight, Wing Chun is not just a style, but it is also a philosophy. It follows guiding principles, but does not have a fixed pattern. This gives you an advantage over your attacker as they won't know your next move. It will give you the freedom to use whichever technique works best for you depending on the situation. And with its ability to incapacitate attackers in a matter of seconds by attacking their soft tissues, it is not only dangerous if not used carefully, but quite effective in putting a stop to a street fight before it has even started. Well, that will be all for today. Hopefully we've been able to show you that Wing Chun is quite useful in a street fight. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you are new to the channel. Also, ring the notification bell so you don't miss an upload, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.